What's up guys, this is Coach Donny from Elevate Yourself, where we change lives through volleyball, training, and inspirational content. Welcome to my Volleyball Coach Reaction to Haikyuu Season number 4. I can't believe we've already gone through 3 seasons and it's barely been just over a year, and I'm excited to start Season 4 with Episode 1 with you guys. If you're new to this channel, I'm a volleyball coach, volleyball player, and personal trainer who provides volleyball tutorials, jump training videos, and other cool volleyball videos. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok for more content. Thanks for explaining the title, The Path of the Ball, from my previous reaction to the OVA episode, Path of the Ball. It's a really cool reference to Lev's realization of how part of his job as a blocker was to work together with his libero. I think his name is Haikyuu, or no, it was the backup libero, to make his job easier as a defender and not just focus on trying to stuff every single ball. It was cool that Lev had his aha moment just like Suki did as a middle blocker. It was cool to see so many of your starting 7 players in the comment section from the previous reaction video. There's definitely some hardcore Oikawa setter camps and some Bokuto hitter camps, and I love how everyone had their own different lineup. One thing I forgot to share with you guys was the game footage from the Monroe Catholic versus James Logan High School volleyball game that I coached a few weeks ago, where we broke a 7-year losing streak against the best team in our league, and this is only my 2nd year coaching at Monroe Catholic High School. It was really such a special moment, not just for me, but for the entire team and all the girls that have been part of the program for all these years. So you can also see a live historical moment and the real reaction of a volleyball team that beats a team like Shiwatorizawa, because on paper, we're not supposed to beat James Logan. If you've been enjoying my videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon, where you receive exclusive access to my monthly live Q&A sessions, my private blog, my monthly podcast, behind the scenes footage, and more. Now let's get this Haikyuu party started. Man, I'm so excited for Season 4. A lot of comments of how the animation is a little bit lower quality, but the story is the best out of all the seasons so far. It's never too early for Hinata because Hinata's always hungry. Oh, some more banners for Karasuno. That's really great to see all the school support. Measurements for the pamphlet. Oi. I'm practicing Kageyama sounds. Healthy competition. Oh, this is the new intro, so we gotta watch this one. I like the song already. I actually like it better than the Season 3 intro. Ooh, that's cool. The 3D animation of the title. A lonely walk from Hinata up the hill. I feel like everything is a very lonely vibe for a lot of anime shows. Definitely tell this is a new animating crew. Really great illustrations. Dr. Wily, Hinata, Ushijima. It's not as dynamic as the other two. Yeah, this animation is a little bit more realistic, not as cartoony. That was a cool fist. I wonder whose fist that was. Alright. I like how each of the intros always comes together with the team coming together. That was a cool scene with everyone throwing their jackets up. Not as dynamic of an intro, but they gotta change it up. His animation is pretty good so far. Oh, that's right. I remember Coach Ukai's voice is different because the original one passed away. Yeah, this animation is really good so far. Wow, he's grown. That's pretty cool. Wow, 5 millimeters. Wonder when the last time they measured. I love how they compete in even things that they have no control over, like their height. It's gotta be Tsuki, the tallest of them all. 190. That's right, boys keep growing in high school. I order you to shrink. Well, Asahi doesn't have to worry about it because he's already pretty tall. That's why he doesn't get excited. I would say the illustration quality has gotten even better. It was already great in the previous 3 seasons, but if you zoom in to the little cabinets at the bottom, they're see-through, which is a great technique to show what glass or plastic looks like. But if you look at every book is a different length and leading at a different angle, and some are kind of rotated like it's folded and some are not rotated like it's a hard back textbook. Just that small section right above the word calling. They could have easily just had all the textbooks lined up perfectly, which nobody would have said anything because maybe the office is really organized, but that just gives it such an organic feel. And let's enjoy this little board here. Looks like a bunch of diagrams and each paper is different. And then you even got a random pink sticky note with nothing on it. And then each paper is a different size. Yeah, this is a great illustrating team. Lastly, let's look at, actually let's point out 2 more things. You look at the printer. Each seam, each line is a different thickness to communicate some depth in the printing machine. That looks like a real printing machine. And then that cup of pens. You got several pens, pencils, erasers, markers, all once again lining up at different angles. And they didn't even have to include pencils in the pencil holder. They could have easily not included any pens or pencils in the scene. But that amount of detail is just so important for this Haikyuu crew. So I'm looking forward to some more details throughout this episode. Hi. A lot of the Asian sounds are the same. That kind of sounds like my dad. I thought they already had a contest. Or maybe the contest was just between Hinata and Kageyama, and now Tsuki's getting measured. Oh, there's some basketball people here. Oh no, this is the end of season 3. That's why it's a repeat. Alright. A whole hand above the basketball rim. That's really good. That's like 10'4", 10'5". And Hinata. Unfortunately, what I remember from season 3 is that he is still slightly lower than Kageyama, so this is a little anticlimactic. pro wings come out. Come on, who's taller? 333 centimeters. Ooh, now Asahi's getting into this.
Yeah,
Nishinoya doesn't have any interest in jumping higher. It's about sprinting faster and reacting faster. One thing I wish they would have included in this anime is the scenes outside of just volleyball skill development and the punishments, but maybe a little bit of strength and conditioning or lifting weights. And I know that not all high school teams do that, but I think that would have been another point of inspiration for the aspiring volleyball players or the people that want to get into volleyball, see the value of how much work that goes into becoming a great volleyball player, and then correlating that with increasing performance. Like if they showed scenes in the beginning where they were lifting weights together, and then after a year, then they take measurements of the vertical jump, and then they do some flashbacks to the team lifting weights, and then that's going to motivate some of the laggers who didn't take weight training seriously to put more effort into strength training later and improve their performance. But I think that would have been a nice parallel theme to this. Good yogurt. I think those little yogurt bottles, probably Asian yogurt bottles. Let's see what Takeda Sensei's news is. Oh, this is where they talk about Kageyama making the youth national team. Or the training camp. That's amazing. I can't wait to see footage of that. Hinata's probably jealous. I was right to choose him as my starting setter. I'm not the only one who thinks he's the most talented setter right now. Does that mean he's gonna have to leave and not play certain games? I think he will. 2 years. That's a long time. Yeah, they need time to prepare these young teenagers to represent them in the under-19 team. I really hope they show training. You'll probably see Bokuto or some other star players there. Good for him. Man, Nishinoya is balancing on his back. Not a requirement to go. Oh, Daichi said, yeah, he should go. What a good leader, encouraging him to push himself and be better. Silence. And Suki, of course, there to instill the truth. Someone can explain to me why they add kun at the end of the names. Let's see if that makes Kageyama laugh. Yeah, I still have not seen a better libero than Nishinoya yet. Yeah, maybe there's other better liberos outside of this district. There's a million liberos in Japan. Oh, more news.
12月の初旬、宮城県内の有望な1年生だけを集めた合宿を行うと、
Promising rookies.
高校の穴原先生から連絡をいただきました。
Ah, that's the first years.
宮城県全体のバレーボールのレベルアップを目的とした取り組みの一つということです。
I like how each prefecture has pride in their development that they want to help all the teams.
言ってみれば疑似ユース合宿ですね。
疑似ユース。
お声がかかっています。月島君。
Suki. Whoa. He just started trying and he got invited. Poor Hinata. Oh, poor Hinata.
こっちは月島君だけですね。
Maybe he needs to change positions.
僕は頑張ってこいよ、月島。外で揉まれるチャンスなんてなかなかないぞ、月島。
Have schools from other guys from other schools mess with you?
では、2人とも参加ということで連絡しておきますね。
What great news. How is this gonna motivate Hinata? Oh, that's jacked up. Oh, that was uncalled for to rub it in Hinata's face. But that's just gonna motivate Hinata to work even harder. This is a tough decision as a coach to consider a player's long-term development, like where they are best suited for after high school, maybe if they want to play in university or professional, and then what's going to benefit the team at the moment. Long-term, having a middle, a Hinata size, is not going to work out. Now, trust me, I'm the first one to say that height is not the most important requirement to succeeding in volleyball. But at the higher levels, in order to be an effective middle, height is a big advantage, and I would say it's a requirement because the ability to block twice and just to get on your tippy toes to slow down the ball, if you're shorter, it takes a lot more time for you to rise to the same height. So let's say even though Hinata and Tsuki can touch a similar height, even though Tsuki is a lot taller than Hinata, Tsuki gets to that point a lot faster, and he can recover faster from that block. So he can just hop up a little bit, come down, and then quickly block another player if he gets faked out. Hinata has to fully put all his effort, max jump, reach the same height, and it takes longer for him to come down. So by the time he gets faked out, the ball's already gone and he can't make a second blocking move. So offensively, it's not going to be a huge deal, but defensively, which is going to be the main role for a middle blocker, it's going to be a huge disadvantage. So if I were the coach for Hinata and I was considering his long-term potential, I would position him as a left side or a right side, mainly a left side hitter, just because he seems to be more effective that way, and find someone else that could be a better fit for the middle. But then you have to squeeze out some other hitter like Tanaka or Asahi. So I still think this is the best use of all the players on the court. But for Hinata to achieve that next level dream, he's going to have to develop some passing ability. So if he does want to play an outside hitter, he has the tools to do that. On that note, that is one way that I found to help achieve the current needs of the team, because that always comes first, and still preparing for a player for the next level. We actually had a middle who was 5'5" or 5'4". Her name was Tao. Very athletic player, very physical, good vertical, long arms, big hands. She was actually a very effective middle blocker at the high school level, but she wanted to play at the next level, and she ended up playing in Division 3, which is a great level for her. But in order to prepare her for that during her senior year, we made sure that she still hit and blocked from the middle when we needed her, and that during other drills we allowed her to do a lot more passing so that she can still contribute as a middle during her junior year and senior year on the high school team, but still have the tools to make that transition to an outside hitter or a right side, which is where she would be most effective at the higher levels. Oh, the gossip.
東京のナショナルトレーニングセンターでしょ。
そうそう。現役のオリンピック選手もトレーニングしてるとこなんだよね。一回入ってみたいよな。
忍び込んでみれば。
Wow, Tsuki talking casually, telling him to sneak in. Tsuki's got some confidence.
しような、ひなた。
留守番って言ったってどうせ練習じゃん。
まあね。
Yeah, this music is sad too. Who knows? Maybe Hinata's gonna be a late addition to one of those training groups. I like this soundtrack. And the falling snow and the falling cherry blossoms, those are probably the two most common atmospheric effects in all of anime. Riding uphill, chasing that dream. This is only gonna motivate him more. Oh, is he already leaving for the training camp?
東京駅からのルートです。
Oh, yes, we get to see some youth training camp this episode. Unless they're gonna be mean and end it right when he enters it to hold the suspense. Oh, they're in Tokyo, so this is the big city. I remember you guys telling me that Karasuno is located in more of a rural, suburban area.
大丈夫じゃないですか。
振り仮名はちゃんと振ったのかな。
I didn't get that last statement. Let me read it again. Take-chan. I'm assuming he's referring to Takeda Sensei. Detailed instructions for where to go.
渡してたらしいし、大丈夫じゃないですか。
振り仮名はちゃんと
Furigana so he can read the kanji. Okay, so they're talking about, is it in the proper writing system?
振ったのかな。
Wonder what he means by that.
どうかした？
ええ、ひなたはまだ来てないですよね。
Oh, the longer this goes on, the more my heart goes out to Hinata. He tries so hard. Reminds me of myself, trying so hard and not getting the spots that you want. Oh, maybe he's training with other teams. Oh, this is the training camp. All the all-stars. Oh, this is the Miyagi prefecture youth camp. Oh, this is gonna be a sick scrimmage if they play. Oh, they're all glaring at each other. Wait, Hinata? Oh, he snuck into there. Oh man. Hey, if you want something, you gotta find a way to get it. I wonder why Tsuki didn't rat him out. Maybe he didn't want to be disrespectful and interrupt what was going on. Oh, I love it.
呼ばれてないよね。セルだ。僕は知らない。知らない人です。
Yeah.
カラスノの10番だろ。
Oh, the other players are gonna vouch for him.
ああ、あのそこの。今呼ばれてないのに来たって言うな。バカじゃないの。
だって逮捕は困るだろ。
は？
そうそう。現役のオリンピック選手もトレーニングしてるとこなんだよね。
Didn't want to get arrested.
一回入ってみたいよな。
忍び込んでみれば。
Oh, he got the idea from Tsuki.
だからってなんでこっちに来んだよ。つうか逮捕されなきゃ行くのかよ。どういう思考回路だよ。
Yeah, Hinata's a little kooky inside, but sometimes that's what you need to be kooky to do great things. But no one's gonna kick him out.
例の1年の強化合宿に乗り込んだらしいで
Oh,
す。
so funny.
今白鳥沢にいる。
Definitely would not have predicted this turn of the story.
あ
Oh, so he did get removed. Man, what was that? That was a little fast. Being a go-getter and absolutely thoughtless are two different things. Oh, now he's getting scolded hardcore. Yeah, he's scary when his glasses get that reflective. I love his determination, man. This is what you're always going to get from Hinata. And he's going to earn his blessing. Oh. Dr. Wiley vouching for him. Maybe he secretly is okay with him being around because he finally got over his own insecurities being a short player and wants to give Hinata a chance that he didn't get. Sakusa Kiyomi. Why is he wearing a mask? Are they incorporating the pandemic in this anime too? Oh, I can't wait to see what they do in practice. Oh, he's gonna kill it during his first opportunity to show himself. Oh, he's got some buddies that will back him up. Oh, they want to get their vengeance. Who is this? Who recommended him? Okay. Washijo Sensei. Is that Dr. Wiley? Yeah, it must be. Simple is the best though. Yeah. Oh, so Dr. Wiley's in charge of the youth national team. Man, I hope he gives Hinata a chance to develop other skills. Don't get in the way. Oh, that's interesting. That's a challenge. See if he can thrive with other setters. With the best setter. I like it. Challenging him. What are you willing to do to earn your opportunity? This door is open. What a good analogy. What a great analogy. Alright, we gotta see which camp this is. Okay, this is the under 19 training camp. Oh, this is the sport court that they use for professional games. So they can put their sponsors out. Knowing Haikyuu, they probably did research on what the youth training center looks like, and this is probably exactly what it's like. So I can't wait to see what the practices are because they're going to be accurate. Alright, let's see who this is. All Japan Boys Youth Team Coach Hitaki Kotaro. Okay, so Dr. Wiley is not the youth team coach. I think he was just the coach for the Miyagi prefecture youth camp. Hibarita is the Olympic men's team coach.
おじさんたちの話は聞き飽きてると思うんで手短に日本高さとパワーの前に敗れるな なんて決まり文句はもう古い。あらゆることは備わっているものではなく、発揮されるものだ。
I gotta read this. He's got some good words to say.
高さとパッ
The Japan team crumbles before height and strength. Maybe that means they would rather work their butts off into the floor before they give in to an opposing team's height or strength.
パワーの前に敗れる。なんて決まり文句はもう古い。あらゆることは備わっているもの
Skills
で
and
はな
talents
く、
aren't meant to be had. They're meant to be developed. Or okay, they're meant to be shown.
世界を相手に暴れてくれ。バレーボールはもっと面白いと証明しよう。
When I see these clips, I just visualize Ishikawa and Nishida being here. Bokuto is there.
集合。
練習止めてすいませんでした。
He humbled himself and apologized.
日向翔陽164センチ。
But he is proclaiming himself, his height.
ボール拾いよろしくお願いします。
This is just a setup. A setup for his great performance in this training camp to come. Taking on that challenge from Dr. Wiley. Oh, staring him down. Alright, we gotta watch the outro too, because this is our first time. I like the electric guitar riffs. Hopefully the outro animation is better than the intro, a little more dynamic. There's a lot of still images. Her nose is a little different, but still a lot of great detail. Sometimes I like, oh, that was a cool image, I gotta go back. Damn, great technique. You see how they blur the background and then sharpen the foreground to show some of that depth and movement. And look at all that, those sweat drops coming off his body. Every sweat drop is different. And then wrapping around his body. Great wrinkles around the shoulder area. Coach Ukai having his outdoor conversations, trying to get hooked up with the girl. More drip, sweat. The obligatory Karasuno crow. I think that's Tanaka's sister. And we got Karasuno's cheering squad. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this outro so far. Just a lot of still images. Except for that one. Random image or animation of Shimizu breathing. Everything else is a still image. Here are my immediate thoughts to episode 1. I was pleasantly surprised with the animation and the illustration quality. And I think some of you explained how, due to budget constraints and also the pandemic, partially through season 4 is where there's a decline in some of the animation. And that's just the reality of production limitations, especially when resources are low during such a crisis like the pandemic. But I'm approaching it as I'm just grateful that they were able to continue this anime, and it'll just help me focus a little bit more on the story. We've been blessed with amazing animation during the first 3 seasons, so no point in complaining about some of the bad animation, or I would say not say bad animation, but a little less detailed animation in season 4. When Hinata snuck into the youth training camp from Miyagi prefecture, that's a really great life lesson. And I know it's like a humorous way of teaching it through the anime, but there isn't a truer lesson in life than if you want something, you will find a way to get it. Successful people don't think about if they can do something. They think about how they can do something. So that's really important to distinguish between asking the right questions. Don't ask if, ask how. That reminds me of one time where the USA men's national team was training at San Jose State University. And I remember when I heard that news, and at that time I was a student at the university working a day job, and I heard that news and I was like, man, it'd be so awesome just to meet them, because when are you going to get a chance to meet the USA men's national team? And this is way before social media and the exposure, so the only time you got to read about them was on some blogs like Bollywood.net, shout out to Ace, or you see them on TV when occasionally some of the games would be posted. Nowadays you can watch them on YouTube, you can try to message them on social media, you can meet them in a lot of open practice opportunities in SoCal, but that wasn't available back then. So I knew that this was my only chance to actually meet them. And they weren't having public practices, they were having private practices. And I remember one of my friends was on staff at the event center. The event center is like the main gym where they have the big basketball games and the big sporting events. And they were practicing there. And I was asking him when they knew the practice schedule was. And then one day he calls me and I'm at work. I'm working at Sunglass Hut trying to sell sunglasses at the mall, 30 to 40 minutes north of San Jose State. He calls me and says, "Hey, they're practicing right now. Want me to get you in?" And I'm like, heck yeah. So I tell my manager, I say, "This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Can you cover for me?" And I rarely ever ask for favors. I'm usually a very good worker. I show up on time. I clock out when I'm supposed to. I don't call in sick very much. And the reason why I do that, one, is because it's the right thing to do, right? If you're working for someone, you should always try to do your best and be professional about it. But the second benefit is if you ever need a favor or if you never need a request, you're much more likely to get that favor if you've done a good job with what you're given. So I don't think I've ever even called in sick up to that point. So I explained to her and she's like, "Yeah, go ahead. You're always doing such a good job here." So she lets me go. And then my friend at the event staff at San Jose State sneaks me in from the back. And I remember grabbing my crusty, beat up volleyball from my trunk because I want them to sign it. So he sneaks me in and I walk into the gym and it's you just hear the balls bouncing, people talking, and nobody's there except for one person who I don't recognize, the USA coaching staff, and then the players. And I slowly, quietly creep down the steps and sit in the most remote part possible, trying not to draw any attention to myself. Luckily, the head coach is so focused on the practice that he doesn't see me there. And I am just so in awe. I'm taking pictures with my camera phone, which probably shouldn't have done out of respect for them because, you know, there might be some secret things they're practicing. So that's a mistake I did, being young and stupid. Luckily, this is way before social media, so there wasn't really any chance to post this anywhere other than a website or an email. But for 2 hours straight, and they actually had a 3-hour practice, I got there an hour later. I was just in cloud nine. I was in heaven. It's just one of those moments where you're staring so intently at what's going on because you don't want to miss a moment. You're listening to every word, every footstep just gives you the giggles. Every contact of the ball makes you salivate, and you're just so absorbed in the moment. And then at the end of the practice, the head coach turns and says, "Hey, this is supposed to be a private practice. Why are you here?" And then I don't even know if I respond. I think I was just so scared. And then at that moment, Marv Dunphy, the 1988 U.S. men's gold medal coach, he helps him win a gold medal in the 1988 Seoul Korea Olympics for the volleyball team. He comes up to me and gives me an American pin. And I thought he was going to scold me, but he comes up to me and gives me a little pin and said, "Thanks for being here today." And then after that, all the players, or I would say 80% of the players, proceed to come to me and shake my hand. Gabe Gardner, Loy Ball, Reed Pretty, Riley Salmon, these world star athletes. And these are some of the top players in the world that are playing in Russia and Italy and Greece. And then afterward, I go down to, and I asked them all to sign my ball. I had my crusty volleyball with a Sharpie and they all sign it. I have that somewhere in my closet. I gotta get it out and show you guys. And then afterward, I see Reed Pretty and Riley Salmon, Rich Lamborn, who's the libero. They're working on passing after everyone's gone. Reed Pretty's stretching down, and I go down to say hi to him, and I just want to tell him like he's such an inspiration. And Reed Pretty talks to me for like 20 minutes. And for me, I'm not trying to ask a lot of questions because I don't want to intrude on his time. But after I asked one question, Reed Pretty asked me a question, and we're actually having a conversation. So he looks at my shirt. I'm wearing my San Jose State men's volleyball shirt. He's like, "Oh, you play for the team here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I play for the club team here." He's like, "Oh, what position you play?" And I say, "Outside hitter." He's like, "Oh, cool." He doesn't say, oh, aren't you short? He just says, cool, that must be really great. It's just a really great conversation. Just one of the most life-changing experiences. And it goes back to show that if you want something, you're gonna find a way to get it. And I'm gonna have that memory for the rest of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my little tangent on when I did my own Hinata move and snuck into a practice. We'll see you guys in the next episode.